They want minimum wages. We don't want to give that to them. They want, maximum hours, but, with a decent living wage to come out of it. We're not going to give them that. We can give them that one day off. They seem to be in Ontario taking it anyway. Labor Day in Canada actually started with unions themselves, not with the government. Nova Scotia mine workers in 1880 declared themselves a Labor Day and took some time off work. And then that was copied by unionized workers in Toronto in 1882, and it spread through a number of places in Ontario and then to Vancouver in 1890. And largely what Labor Day was not really so much a protest day as a day of celebration of the craft unions. So it was kind of exclusive because it did not include the unskilled workers who were the heavy majority of the workers in Canada. It was the skilled unionized workers who were kind of asking for respect from the whole population for the contributions that they were making to the industrialization of Canada. The official Labor Day, which starts in 1894, is actually a kind of consolation prize to Canadian workers. And by that, I mean that in 1886, a royal commission was established by the federal government to look into why there was so much labor unrest at the time. And half the commissioners were labor people and half were capitalists with a chair who came from the employer group. And they were supposed to look at what were the causes of labor unrest and what could be done to make things better. Well, the employer group thought everything was just fine and they weren't going to recommend any real changes. The labor group were calling for a whole number of changes, including an 8-hour day for all workers, but at the kind of pay that they had been getting for 10 or 11 hours work, and also for more safety legislation, things of that sort. So the federal government didn't want to grant any of that. But the one thing that Labor had asked for was a statutory holiday for something that would be called Labor Day. And the federal government decided, all right, we'll give them that. It's easy enough for them to do because you can declare it a statutory holiday. But a statutory holiday, when declared by the federal government, only actually applies to their direct employees. And so then became a question of whether the provincial governments, municipal governments would follow through. And that did gradually happen. So, so that was a kind of victory for working people, that they would get this one day off. And the day that was decided for Labor Day was the first Monday in September. So kind of as the summer was ending, kids are going back to school. And interestingly, that selection was not necessarily what working people wanted. The recognized working class day internationally by that point was May the 1st, May Day. It started in the United States in the 1880s. That was the day where they were pushing for the 8-hour day. And it spread to many countries, and the Workers' International had declared in 1890 that that was the day that it should be regarded as the workers' holiday, and that was seen as a day of protest. By contrast, what the federal government wanted was to grant a day that looked like the Labor Days that had been going on, particularly in Ontario, in the 1880s, that were sort of a celebration of the crafts, and not really a protest, not really a day of demands of governments. At a certain point in the 20th century, and particularly during the Great Depression, The May Day was revived and became a kind of competitor to the Labor Day, and it would draw at least as many people. And the May Day would be a day where demands were made. Labor Day continued to be kind of just a celebration day. And at a certain point, you couldn't really tell much difference between what was going on in Labor Day, in their parade, and the Dominion Day parade or the Santa Claus parade. And for a lot of people, Labor Day just became this holiday, a day off for working people.